Taylor Swift's album, The Tortured Poets Department, has received mixed reviews from both professional critics and fans. Some critics say that the album is sophisticated, witty, and bold, while others find the songs excessive with words and just a plain lyrical mess. Critics have said that the double album was rushed to market, way too long and way too bloated, with dud songs that should have stayed on the cutting room floor. A common complaint is that the quality of the writing just isn't up to the usual standards of Taylor and her creative team. Too many nonsensical statements and muddled songwriting. So the lyrics in Tortured Poets Department has been seen as being weak and overwritten. On the other hand, some pro-Taylor reviewers and Swifties fire back that the Tortured Poets Department just hasn't been properly understood. They say the album is not geared toward easy listening by mainstream audiences, but for real fans of Taylor, who understand the lore and can get the most out of it. It is meant to be cryptic and mysterious, and talked about for some time. But despite all these different views, there are generally agreed on points to the album. It is undeniable that songs have a certain heavy, chaotic, unfiltered emotion that give it a certain authenticity. But others have said that the themes of the Tortured Poets Department are unrelatable, and the album seems to be without a clear genre. I think a lot of these points are valid, but overblown and harsh. I believe that pop music should be designed for popular audiences, and not be overly confusing and overly obscure. The Tortured Poets Department is 2 hours long and contains 31 tracks. I found 9 good songs, while the others needed more work. So more than a quarter of the album is pretty good. Most of these songs have been featured and spectacularly performed in Eras Tour. These songs are Fortnight, The Tortured Poets Department, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, Down Bad, But Daddy I Love Him, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, and finally, So High School. All in all, if the Tortured Poets Department was released as a single album, with all of these songs featured, there would be fewer complaints. The criticism about the album being unrelatable is also understandable. The structure of the album is indeed confusing and thematically all over the place. An example of this is Taylor's song and music video Fortnight. It is cryptic and mysterious. It looks like a retro horror movie with a retro setting, the psych ward, the mental institution, and the hallucinations. And it's not just Fortnite, there's a certain eeriness in many other songs of the album. Overall, I believe that the genre of Southern Gothic is the biggest inspiration for the Tortured Poets Department. By adopting a Southern Gothic theme, Taylor has taken a creative risk. Not everyone knows what this is. So what is Taylor's Southern Gothic? To start off, it's mostly about poor white people. It's a storytelling style and setting that originated in English literature, and can be found in books, movies, shows, and even games. The setting takes place mainly in the American South, among the ruins of rural white America. Think about deindustrialization and the Rust Belt, and the massive social and economic ruin it caused. Think about the dark underbelly of America and what it looks like. Southern Gothic takes places in areas that once saw better days, and now is totally screwed up and decayed. Horror movies love using the setting. Characteristics of Southern Gothic stories include isolation and marginalization of people. In Taylor's case, women trapped in small country towns. Corruption, poverty, violence, and crime. Destitution and decay. Religious extremism and sexism. Oppression and discrimination. And of course, mental illness and psychological trauma. Some examples of legendary authors in the space are Edgar Allan Poe, Anna Rice, William Faulkner, and Cormac McCarthy. Famous movies and films include Deliverance, True Blood, American Horror Story, Preacher, and Lovecraft County. There are books like The Sound and the Fury, Interview with a Vampire, and Child of God, Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher, and the game Resident Evil. With all of this media in mind, you can understand what's going on with Southern Gothic. A common theme of this genre is innocence surrounded by abuse. Taylor's narrative voice can be interpreted as being about white women being trapped in poor small towns, struggling with limited options for better men and a better life. Songs of this type include But Daddy, I Love Him, Down Bad, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, and The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. So I bet if people re-listen to the Tortured Poets department with Southern Gothic themes in mind, they'll have a much better and much more fulfilling listening experience. Thanks so much for watching. Please help out this channel by liking, subscribing, and ringing the notification bell. And check out the playlists. Comment below on what you think about Taylor and her music.